Hello, everybody. It's great to be here one more time today. My name is Gary Fowler. I'm the CEO, President, Founder of GSD Get You Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with several unicorns under the belt. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also Eva.ai, an HR tech company I co-founded with Dr. David Yang. We believe at GSD that intellectual capacity is evenly spread, but opportunities are not. With that, I'd like to welcome each of you to GSD Presents Top Global Startups, the show where I bring you the founders, visionaries, and builders shaping the future of technology and business. Today, we're diving into one of the most critical and often invisible layers of the global economy, logistics. But not the logistics of yesterday. We're talking about the intelligent delivery networks powered by AI. Systems that learn, adapt, and optimize in real time. Joining us today is Shakhboz, co-founder of Logistical, an AI startup reimagining how delivery networks operate in an increasingly complex and fast-moving world. From last-mile optimization to full network intelligence, Shakhboz is building technology that helps logistics companies move faster, operate smarter, and scale efficiently. If you've ever wondered how AI is transforming the backbone of commerce, from e-commerce to global supply chains, you're going to love the conversation that we're going to have today. So with that, Shakhboz, how are you doing today?
Great. Hello. Uh, Great.
So,
Uh,
so
Feeling
tell-
great.
let's
Thanks
go
for
back.
inviting.
Um, talk a little bit about, if you look at it, what did you see in logistics that made you say this has to change and I want to change it?
So basically, quickly, how I started my whole company is that about 2, 3 years ago, I had an incredible conversation with the president of the truck association in Japan. So basically, while talking to this guy, I have learned a lot of like how the logistics is built in Japan, and hearing from him and how he actually is managing his logistics company, I found out that most of the things right now in Japan, like logistics, is built on human labor, where most of the communications still are done like by fax, emails, phone calling. The people have to make reports every day by papers. Also, like most of those things are in old like CRMs or like even Excel sheets. So when I saw this opportunity, me and my co-founder jump into the solving this issue. So 1.5 years right now, almost will be 2 years this year. We have been solving the problems of logistic companies and like trying to help them with using AI specifically. So the way we're helping is optimizing the truck space to make it visible and also shareable with other team people. Maybe later I can tell you more about how whole operation works.
Yeah. So have you raised any money yet?
So basically, last year we raised our pre-seed for our startup for 30 million yen. I think in USD it will be around like 250K. So we raised our pre-seed, and this year we are trying to raise our seed round starting from May.
Yeah, so the it's interesting because I did my seed round in Silicon Valley. In fact, David Yang was from Abby. If you know the company Abby, ABBYY, he was my partner. We built a
Wow.
company together, and our first round was $7 million. So that's the difference. Sometimes people don't realize what the difference is between Silicon Valley and other parts of the world. The rounds are a lot higher because the valuations are better. People get it. And by the way, and the kind of things you've done. So I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was, if you look at it, taking. So for instance, if you have a fuel oil truck, what's the capacity of the truck? If I have 1,000 drivers, 1,000 trucks, what driver do I need to send out a location to a location? That company I was on the original team of sold to Salesforce for 1.35 billion. Well,
Oh
just
wow.
FYI. So there's a lot of opportunity, but one of the problems is you can't be conservative. You got to get the Ferrari out of the garage because if nobody sees it, it's still your Ferrari.
Definitely, definitely. So quickly about the whole funding round is that uh, in California, in Palo Alto, like US startup basically, have a higher cost as well compared to Japan, for example. The
Well,
average, for
they
example,
have a higher cost. That's why you have an office there and you have R&D work in Japan. But the other thing is, you don't see a lot of very successful Japanese startups, right? And I have Japanese companies. We have 185 companies in GSD, right? And why is it? Because you got to move quickly. It's about getting stuff done, not talking about it. And it's not about the network where I'm going for my friends from college to try to raise money. It's how can I show the value of the company and get people that bought off of my vision, right? And I got to move fast.
So I think this is a problem of Japan for a long time, where the people, as you said, really conservative and make decision making for a lot of, especially big corporates, small and medium, is quite a long time, and that's why I think it's like getting your first customers or accelerating your growth in Japan is quite slower than like US companies where you can get like 10, 15 customers every week, so you can move fast, grow faster compared to other part of the world.
Um, why was it logistics? It's not always the most glamorous space. And what drew you in? What made you decide to understand that's a space for you?
So basically, before starting my startup, I had a company, moving company for foreigners in Japan. So I found I had experienced this problem by myself. When you are moving from one house to another, if you are a foreigner, and especially if you don't speak Japanese, it's quite too difficult to use the services of a moving company. So back in 2023, I started a moving company just for foreigners, helping them to move their apartments or at least piece of furnitures. And while doing that, I realized that this business is quite difficult to run because the margin is quite low. And at that moment, I tried to find how I can connect my network. At that time, I had a network of different moving companies to something different, and I definitely wanted to make something in tech. So
So
this
were
is
you
how
like a
I started.
broker? Are you like a broker then, Shakhboz? Is that what you were? A broker, basically hiring a moving company and then going to the foreigner?
Yeah, but basically, yeah. I mean, I was a middle person connecting the freelance drivers with the foreigners and kind of like matching them together and coordinating the how the process is done. But this business, as I said, is a low margin and has a high seasonality because there is a seasons where people move and there's seasons like there's no one is moving. It was
Yeah, well,
quite difficult.
that's it. You got to seasonality affects everybody, especially retailers. So, what is logistical at its core? What problem are you solving better than anyone else?
So the core problem we're solving is the efficiency of the trucks in Japan. So according to different statistics, is the efficiency of the trucks in Japan is 38%, which means the trucks you see in Japan, half of the times runs completely empty and is a huge waste. So this happens usually because of the three reasons. First is a lot of the empty trucks coming back after delivery happens. So from the warehouse to the customer, there's a delivery, but on a way back they come completely empty. Second, Japan is the customers of Japan are really high demanding, and
Hmm.
that's why the frequency of deliveries are in Japan are quite high. For example, the convenience store foods are like uh, are changed usually every day, and this is a really complex logistics. But this kind of a complex things is leaving a lot of empty trucks. And the third one is digitalization. Even Japan has this glamorous kind of a picture that it's high tech country, but in like a lot of the sectors, particularly in logistics, is really low digitalized, and that's why there's a problem of efficiency. And the way we are
And why is
uh,
that,
kind of
Shakbaz?
solving.
Why are they so far back when in some ways they're so far forward? Is it because of the relationships, or why are they not progressive with logistics?
There is a two reasons I would say. First one, I think that of course the mindset of the people. So most our clients that we talk, the CEO of logistic companies, is the people about 60, like 65, 70. And for these people, they are concerned of more keeping the business than actually improving. And most of the logistic CEOs, the owners, are so like zoomed into the operation and just like they uh, are in the operation instead of actually moving. And only like CEOs or owners of logistic companies who are like visionaries are actually moving and using the new technologies. And the second one, I think the margins, because as they have a really low margins, they don't have a space for experimenting. And Japanese people, it's their core, are really low risk tolerant people. They don't like the risking. And with the new technologies, there's of course every time you have a high risk that something will not work. And for Japanese people, their reputations, their customer like relations are really like important, and they don't want to risk. And that's why I think that because of a couple like reasons, they are falling back on technological advancement. I didn't actually finish what our core kind of like uh, solution. Basically, our core solution right now is Uber rideshare, let's say, for logistics, where logistic companies can visualize their truck space. So we have a special like sensors that you can put inside of your truck, and you can visualize how much of your truck empty, and you can share it with the other logistic companies, and people can share their empty truck spaces between each other and realize this called rideshare.
That's the kind of stuff we did with Click Software, right? So just FYI. So if you had a fuel oil truck and you had 1,000 trucks and you have three levels of service, what truck goes to what location to deliver the oil, right? So it's easy when you have a couple trucks, but then trying to figure out as you're delivering 200 gallons of fuel, how much fuel's left in the truck, and do you have enough to be able to take it to these locations? So it was a complex task. So I get it. I mean, that optimization goes back into impact investing too, because, the impact for fuel, conserving fuel, those kind of things. In fact, one of the companies we have in GSD that raised 150 million actually. If you look at it, it's an integrated system. Imagine now if you have what you do on top of like a uh, electric car company that does charging, and everything's tied into one, right? So this is just one node on that. And I know those companies, by the way.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Um, so what are the biggest inefficiencies to delivery systems that you think AI can solve?
So basically, there's quite a few inefficiencies that we are currently solving. First is definitely communication. A lot of communication in Japanese logistics, and I think is in the whole world could be just like automated by AI. Basically, in Japan, for example, a lot of ordering is made by phone calling, and AI can just like we have a AI call center for logistic companies that can handle the order taking. And usually, there's a lot of like back and forth communication, like where the shippers have a question about the logistics, or sometimes they want to ask the driver about ETA, even if they have something, or if the driver has some accident, they usually report it by phone, and the communication, everything is like fall apart. So one of the communication, I think, definitely could be done by the AI, where they are in the middle. Second, I think is uh, could be the whole AI native route optimization. So basically, I think that like route optimizations have been like quite commoditized in recent years, where there's so many companies who are providing route optimization. But one of the things I think most of the companies are missing is that this route optimization algorithms is hard to uh, change according to the customer experience. What I mean by that is that for a lot of logistic companies in Japan, they have been working, let's say, 100 years, and they have a specific like routes they have experienced, and according to them, these routes are the super safest one, or even if it's the longest one, is the best for the trucks. And this kind of a thing is could be taught and like given to AI, and AI can take into consideration the existing like experiences of a logistic companies, and with its own intelligence can help the drivers or like these operators to do it together. And maybe the third one, I think it could come right now that we are doing is matching the different shippers and the truck companies right now. Basically, I think in US is a big business that operators like in the middle, which are getting orders from shippers, finding the logistic companies, and basically mediator. And I think this is a huge cost sank for the shippers because the mediators get a lot of fees in the middle. And I think this could be just removed, and this kind of a matching could be easily done by AI.
No, I know that. Like I said, as the senior VP of marketing for Click Software, an original team member, I actually put a lot of that stuff together. So I get that. We said, it's about route optimization. It's about optimization of what you're carrying on the truck, whether it's fuel or packages, but it's all part of the integrated system, right? Everything's got to become one.
Exactly.
So, how does your platform learn and improve over time? Is it predictive, adaptive, or both?
So first of all, we have a couple layers of AI agents that learn and fix itself. So for example, our AI call center, according to the people's feedback, can learn and actually make an improvement for the second calls. We had a case where the customer calls the AI, and the customer was really like mad from an AI. So it was a little bit like a issue how it was talking. And according to this feedback, uh, AI takes this response from the customer, reports to the main operator saying that there was a mad customer, and finds its issues where it made an issue, and basically fix its own in this like in the communication with the client that will happen in the future. For the route optimization, I think it will basically like from the people's feedback, we can always feed the new information to AI, and the AI, as I said, like given the customer's experience, can learn and actually fix its own mistakes. And for we have a recently started from February the volume detection technology, where you put the AI cameras, 3D depth cameras, inside of a truck, and these cameras can detect the volume of orders that's put it inside of a truck. And for that, we had a lot of difficulties with the errors it was making because basically it's a VLMs, it's a visual language model that's detecting the boxes and calculating the volume. And for that, we had to make a long learning curve to AI that it actually learns how to detect the boxes. And it was basically learning according to the box standard box sizes. Because in Japan, for example, there is let's say 50 different box sizes, and AI basically were learning which box size it is and how many of that box exists, and basically calculating the volume.
If you look at it, what role does real time data play in your system?
Uh, as I said, like we have this volume detection technology, and we were streaming this information to the cloud. So if someone needs to deliver something on demand, like a shippers, they will be matched with the truck company that have empty truck spaces right now. So for logistic companies, they can reduce their costs and earn additional profit from this real-time kind of a matching.
Logistics is massive, Shakhboz. If you look at it, it's trillions of dollars globally. Where do you see the biggest opportunity today?
I think a couple of weeks ago, I saw that in US market, there was a huge drop of a lot of listed logistic companies. And the reason for that was the new AI like AI startups started to come. And I think that uh, according to recent data, the implementation of AI in logistics still are in the beginning. And there will be, I think in a couple of years, there will be like huge trend inside of logistics of integration. For me, the biggest, I think, uh, opportunity is replacing operators. As I said, like in logistics, this kind of like 3PL operators, no need, because their job is basically benefiting from the scarce of data. Shippers don't have access to the data that these 3PL companies have, and AI can basically disrupt the whole industry and remove these people. And I think maybe 10 years after from now, we will see like and say that like 10 years ago we had like operators, and right now everything is done by AI.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's changing quickly. And then with the we have self-driving trucks that you'll be loaded up, the stuff will move out. You won't even have at some point you won't even have human touch, right? In not too distant future. That's what I talk about as an integrated system. So, what are the biggest challenges for you in scaling an AI logistics company in Japan?
I mean, the biggest challenges is sales, of course, and the selling to conservative people the new solutions. And I would say for the last 2 years, we have started to make a lot of progress for the last 3 4 months. And in Japan, the biggest kind of like challenge is to uh, sell to the big corporates or medium-sized corporates, because the communication for them lasts way longer. For example, with one of the top five logistic companies in Japan, we have been communicating like 6 months, and our conversation happens like every month, one meeting. In the every meeting, there's like 10 people coming from their side asking a bunch of questions. I'm replying and telling me it's like we will make a consulting internally and send you email. They passed like 2 weeks saying that we had a like additional meetings. Can we meet next month again? And this has been continuing for the 6 months,
Well,
and
you got
the
to be careful.
internal
They're not
decision
trying
making.
to build something just like you have. Because I heard that happens. I've seen that happen a lot of times. You got to be careful. They keep getting information for you, and they build the same thing you got.
This is actually really true, but at the same time, the Japanese culture of making decisions is actually usually takes really long time. And I hear the different stories where startups spend like 1 year, 1.5 years to send really big enterprise. But there is like a trick. Uh, Trick is that Japanese companies spend a lot of time to make a decision, but after they become your customer, they will be really loyal. Japanese clients are the most loyal customers in the world. Even if your competitor comes to them and says that like we will be twice cheaper, these people will not go to them, because they have built a relationship with you for a long time, and they really appreciate this relationship over the benefit, money, or whatever it is uh, that other people can provide.
I don't know if that's good or bad. You know what I mean? In one sense, it's good. In one other sense, it's bad, right? Because you
Mm.
may be, it's like having a Ferrari going in to win Formula One, and somebody says, well, geez, I like that Ferrari, and I'm not going to get the new model. It doesn't matter. And all of a sudden, the new model's like 30% more horsepower, and you can't win the race. So, go, I like it in principle. I like it, but if you're going to do an innovative company, may not. So we're coming up to the top of the show. If you want to stay on for some time afterwards, we can. Shakbaz, this has been an incredible conversation. It's clear that logistics is no longer just about moving packages. It's about building intelligent systems that power the global economy. To my audience today, if you're building, investing, or just curious about the future of AI and infrastructure, this is a space you need to be watching. So, closing thoughts, Shakbaz, and how do people get a hold of you?
Thank you very much for inviting me to the podcast. It was really great to talk to you and learn. And actually, after the podcast, I want to learn more about your company and how you guys have been working. But for people who are interested in logistics, right now we are operating only in Japan, but hopefully from next year we can go to globally. Who are interested, I think uh, you guys can find me in LinkedIn and maybe reach out. Maybe you will find my email on our website as well. And everyone who wants to contribute, have a questions, wants to invest or work with us, I'm open to conversation all the time. Thank you very much for incredible conversation and opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much. And thanks to all of you for joining one more time. GSD presents Top Global Startups. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy, and be back to you again soon with another exciting edition. Thank you, and thanks, everybody.